Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today is perfume review time. So either you have this fragrance and you can take it, spray it, and go on a journey with me right now. Otherwise, just, get a tea, coffee, whatever, soda, pop, whatever you want to call it, and enjoy and relax. This is going to be DOLCE GABBANA Pour Homme, the Eau de Toilette version, the first ever formulation of it from the mid-90s. I am addicted to this perfume. Now I've had it back in the day, and I've grown up with it, and I was devastated when they discontinued it or reformulated it for the awful version, actually, that we know today, made in the UK. But before that, it was made in Germany. The first edition is made in Italy. So there's a lot to say. And it's a big mess, and there's a lot of garbage in between. But let's step back a couple of steps, shall we? For the occasion, I am wearing Dolce Gabbana. So I'm all dressed up in Dolce Gabbana. I have this gorgeous, oversized, I got it oversized because I love it oversized, jacket, which I open up on the sides, I unbutton it, and I lift the sleeves, a little bit Miami Vice style. I have the coppola in the Sicilian coppola in dark denim, and that's it. And I've lifted my sleeves so that I could spray the perfume wherever I wish to. Now, what a fragrance! Oh my God. The branding of it, the sticker, that's how you know that you got an original old school version pre-reformulation, because it has its sticker that always peels off with time, because they're like metallic stickers, very thick stickers, so with time they kind of tend to start peeling if you're overusing them. I just got this one online, secondhand market, and I am thrilled because it's the 125 milliliter version, and it's a tester, which is so intense, and it has all of the ingredients written on the back. Now, you might not be able to see the ingredients, but I'm going to read them to you. The testers had them printed on the back. So, the first editions were produced by Italia, and they were made in Italy. Well, let's spray it on first before we go to the... Oh my God, it's happiness in a bottle. This is just sublime. Oh, okay. Now, to me it brings back just so many really positive and incredible memories, and not just that, but I mean, it also kind of like is the smell of an era that is gone, because, fashion isn't what it used to be, and the quality is not what it used to be. The fragrance world suffers too, not just the luxury world. But anyway, let's get quickly to the notes. Top notes: bergamot, tangerine, orange, and lemon, as printed on the bottle itself. Heart notes: lavender, clary sage, tarragon, cardamom, and black pepper. Bottom notes: sandalwood, cedarwood, tonka beans, and musks, in plural. It's so Mediterranean, but at the same time so sophisticated. And why did I say at the same time? Not that Mediterranean isn't sophisticated, but Mediterranean can be also very simple, The quality of the Mediterranean can be, like the simple ingredients, like, the pasta just with tomatoes, or just pasta with garlic and a bit of oil, and that's it. That simplicity, you have it here. But at the same time, because of the tonka, the sandal, the cedar, and the musks, you have that depth to that beautiful Mediterranean surface, And you feel that there's a depth there. You feel that there's a tradition there. You feel that there's heritage there. Now, Dolce Gabbana did win the Perfume Award back in the day, in 1995 or 6. I can't really remember when this one came out. And it was considered like Europe's or the world's best fragrance. To me, for men, my policy on male and female fragrances, in fact, to me, there's no such thing as male or female. There's just such a thing as what smells good to your nose and what suits your chemistry. Now, guess what? The actual first time this one was released, and this is the first bottle, There is no Pour Homme written on the actual bottle itself. On the packaging, yes, but not on the bottle. It just says Dolce Gabbana Eau de Toilette. And there's no like print at the bottom that says Pour Homme, nothing. And that is incredible. Like that's just a testament to how, you know, avant-garde and ahead of their time these guys actually were back then. At a certain point, you know, Dolce Gabbana became a little bit greedy, I have to say, with their taxes, and there was a big scandal. That's why they kind of cut off the D&G line because of taxes and Luxembourg or whatever. Let's not get into that detail. But they also left Euritalia for Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble, which, sorry to say, really lame quality perfumes. Now, it's kind of like a mass production. The second you go to Procter & Gamble, like, isn't Head & Shoulders Procter & Gamble? Like, you know what I mean? I think about dandruff shampoos when I think of Procter & Gamble. I don't think about luxury perfumes. Now, I know that they do produce other luxury brands as well, or perfumes for other luxury brands, but it's just not Dolce & Gabbana to me. And the first reformulation of this one, the made in Germany version, still had kind of the intensity, but something was off in the balance of the ingredients, while the made in UK version, now mind you, the Dolce & Gabbana light blue is still made in Germany, but the actual Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme and Pour Femme is made in the UK, at least all the bottles that I've seen lately. Now, the made in UK version of this fragrance, first of all, doesn't have the sticker anymore. Neither does the made in Germany version. It just has a print like Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme, and maybe it says Eau de Toilette at the bottom, but even that's not elegant anymore. The proportions of this bottle with the sticker and the distance to the stopper, to the top, it's just so perfect. You shouldn't have changed anything. Domenico, Stefano, listen to me, guys. Bring it back as it was. Well, it's not all really bad news. Of course, the price of these is going up and up and up, higher and higher, because to get a vintage version is not that easy. On a side note, Procter & Gamble teamed up with Coty. Now, Coty is another company that does relatively cheap fragrances, to say the least. They're kind of famous for their actor, musician, star fragrances, you know, the fragrances of the stars, of the VIPs. So, you know, that's the price range we're talking about too. Well, thank God, Dolce & Gabbana, I don't know for what reason, if it was just an economical reason or if they really thought that it was a bit too cheapish. Once they heard the news that Procter & Gamble is teaming up with Coty, and that Dolce & Gabbana would have also gone under that, kind of covered under that rooftop of Coty, they decided to step out of their contract. So they were on the market, available for somebody else, right? Because they were looking to team up with some other professional cosmetic and perfume fragrance brands. Cometh in center stage, like a miracle, Shiseido. I hope I pronounced it correctly. All my life I've been saying Shiseido. I have heard some people say Shiseido, but I think it's Shiseido because it's Shiseido. So Shiseido, E-I-D-O. Shiseido. Anyway, Japanese brand, incredible quality, very famous for their quality. Most of the stuff that they produce, as far as European brands are concerned, is made in France. So finally, Dolce & Gabbana, from being made in Italy to being made in Germany to being made in the UK, should, technically speaking, go to being made in France, which has huge potential, and I do believe that the quality will be definitely better than the made in UK version, as well as the made in Germany version. Will it be on par with the made in Italy version? Probably not, because of regulations that have changed in 2012 on which ingredients are allowed to be put in a fragrance or not. Mind you, as we have on the bottle stated here, the olfactive family of this fragrance is Fougere, green, fruity, fresh. We know that mostly Fougere fragrances have suffered reformulation regulations from 2012. So to get this incredible intensity, and in the ingredients we also have listed, well, for alcohol, blah, blah, citral, coumarin, farnesol, geraniol, and linalool. I mean, like, I think the coumarin is not used anymore in this fragrance. It used to be. It gives it that particular bite, which is so necessary in the opening notes. I'm just hoping and praying for the fragrance gods up above that Shiseido will be able to finally redeliver the quality and the spirit and the soul of this fragrance back to itself. I also hope they kind of reformulate the bottle and the packaging, because not even the stopper is the same anymore. I love this little bump on the stopper from silver to blue. It's just so beautiful and elegant. I don't know. They've just ruined the packaging of this fragrance, in my personal opinion. The box is still velvet, but it's not as beautiful as it used to be. So, Shiseido started distributing Dolce & Gabbana's fragrances, and they will also be distributing and creating cosmetics and more cosmetics and maybe even creams, I don't know, from October 2016. Now, I have been running almost every day to stores, perfume stores, checking out if bottles are finally made in France or not. No, I've still only seen to date, till now, made in UK and made in Germany bottles, but that's it. No made in France as of now. I would prefer Dolce & Gabbana to go back to Euroitalia, but I don't think that's an option anymore, at least for the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years. Oh my God, this fragrance, there's a breeze in there, there's wind in there, and there's wind with salt from the Mediterranean Sea in there. There is, you know, the first commercial they made for this fragrance, oh my God, to die for. Monica Bellucci, with this other model guy. I mean, he's gorgeous. I mean, all of their models are super Mediterranean looking, dark haired, gorgeous guys. So we're at a beach somewhere in Sicily. There's octopi getting killed and bashed on. I know this sounds awful for all of you animal lovers, but you know, that's how you gotta, you hunt an octopus, then you gotta beat it on the rocks, and then you gotta turn it for its tentacles to twirl, to curl inwards, and then they become soft and edible. So he's so horny for Monica Bellucci, and she is the femme fatale of Sicily, that he literally takes this octopus and kind of bites into it from all the lust that he has for her. That's the lust that I feel when I have this fragrance on me. But of course, I feel it for the fragrance. I kind of translate that into a weird lust that you, in a way, get for yourself, because when you smell it once, you just want to keep on smelling it over and over and over again. And it's so beautiful in the way it kind of explodes in the opening, and then quite soon goes over the top of that incredible volcano rock that is this fragrance. And then it kind of goes down into this, relatively soon goes down into this like meadowy terrain where everything is so fertile, because we have this volcanic activity, and the volcano earth and soil is so rich of everything, salts and minerals and everything that life needs to grow and live. So you can imagine all the plants growing there, all the smells and the intensities there of the rosemary, of the clary sage, of the basil, of all of these grasses, of the estragon. I mean, all of these things that you could actually eat. But they smell so incredible that you just like, you freeze, you know. And that every time I smell it, I freeze in time. And I have this incredible visual of a volcano next to the sea. And all of this green, all of these herbal green living plants surrounding me. And all of them covered by this thin veil of light purpley lavender smell. And that clary sage and lavender blend in like a blanket. And that blanket, you better believe it, is made by Dolce & Gabbana. And the blanket is, of course, with a leopard print. What else? I mean, their animal prints are extremely famous. The zebra prints are extremely famous. But here I see more a leopard, more the smaller kind of leopard dots that they use on some of their pieces, especially inside of the jackets. This one doesn't. They don't do it for male jackets. Usually do it for the female pieces more with the leopard. So you can imagine this clary sage lavender veil on top of all of this green. And all the green is on top of this black, volcanic, fertile soil. That's what Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme is to me. And The head notes evaporate quite soon, unfortunately. I would wish that opening to stay there longer. This is one of those rare, and I'm talking very, very rare fragrances that really keep me stuck to it from head note to heart and then bottom note. And why am I saying this? Well, because usually fragrances either get me in the opening note or they're a little bit aggressive in the opening notes. Like a lot of Chanel fragrances tend to be a bit aggressive in the opening notes because of the aldehydes, and some of them are just, they bite you a little bit, but then the magic unveils, you know, as you go down into the bottom notes, you just want to eat your wherever you sprayed it on yourself, you just want to eat that limb because it's so delicious. But a lot of other fragrances, and this is how you know, and this is the biggest difference between the Dolce Gabbana made in Italy and the one made in Germany and made in the UK. I put the made in Germany, made in UK in the same box, and made in Italy, it's a world of its own. It's like on top there and the rest is there. It's garbage. Now, the garbage has the most disgusting dry down. Now, you could also check out Dolce Gabbana Intenso, which is supposed to be an intense version of the Pour Homme. It's reminiscent of it, and I have to say, Intenso does have an interesting opening note to it, as does the made in UK and made in Germany version of the Eau de Toilette. But how can you see if a fragrance is actually bad? The giveaway, what gives it away, is always the bottom note, the bottom note, the dry down of the fragrance. When that starts smelling confusional, mixed up and messy and just off, and it doesn't vibrate right to your nose. Now, I'm like a connoisseur of wine, you know. Fragrances to me, I mean, I've smelled so many and I live off of fragrances that have a very, very delicate nose to that. So a lot of people don't kind of sense it because they haven't trained their nose to get there. But once you get to that level, you're so annoyed by cheap perfumes. Once they hit that bottom note and it just smells off, you're just disgusted by it. And unfortunately, that cheap bottom note is present in Dolce Gabbana Intenso, made in UK. And it's also present in the Dolce Gabbana Eau de Toilette Pour Homme, made in UK. Opening is fine. You know, you could deal with it. It's not this at all, but it's okay. But then the dry down is disgusting. Here, the dry down, magic. So it screams in the opening notes, right? Because you got to get over that volcano, and then you got to go down into that meadow of black, fertile soil with all the plants, and then you have that veil of that lavender and clary sage covering you up with that visual of maculato, which is the leopard print that the Dolce Gabbana are so famous for. And then, as we're going through that meadow, we're kind of walking towards the beach and the sea. And we have that warmth, and we hear that sound of the waves, and we have more and more of that salt kicking in, and it becomes cooler. In fact, from the heat of that volcano, we're descending, we're going down towards that sea. And as we go towards that sea, the perfume mellows on your skin. It tames itself a little bit more. It controls itself more and more, and it becomes closer and closer to the skin, and becomes intimate. It becomes something very fresh and soft and warm, but only to you because it's so close to the skin. So the projection becomes kind of limited, but longevity is huge. It's huge. I get at least 8 hours out of it. And then at a certain point, after maybe the 4th, 5th hour, I have to put my nose and I have to like warm up the fragrance on my skin, breathing onto it, and then inhaling, and then it just like opens up, like you unlock the bouquet and it just like boom, flourishes all over again inside of your nose. And it's incredible. It's like a drug. And the dry down is so beautiful indeed and so soft that it really is capable of kind of shifting you to a position where you feel like you're in another space. You know, it has that power to transport you into poetry. And that is rare, and I don't say that about many fragrances. And you know, I do not like to review fragrances that I don't like. I give all my love, passion, soul, and energy into the fragrances that I love. And this one, oh boy, do I love it. And I'm so happy that I found this bottle because, you know, my 75 ml is literally at its last drops. And I've had this one for some time, and I've been like sparing it and saving it, and I didn't want to use it because I didn't want to end it. And now I can play as much as I want with it because I have enough, and I don't feel like I have to, you know, save on it. if you can, get your hands on this. I am extremely curious, and I cannot wait for Shiseido to bring out eventually, hopefully, the Made in France Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme sooner or later. The sooner the better, because I have, my hopes are set really high. It's never going to smell the same. Nothing is going to beat the original and the first. Stefano, Domenico, if you are listening, guys, at least bring the original packaging back. I mean, I don't know if the sticker costs you more to produce than just printing something on a bottle. I mean, the sticker is a metallic sticker. It's like cold to the touch. It's very thick. It's very beautiful. Updating a fragrance and making it more modern doesn't mean making it cheaper. And if you want to save $1 or $2 on your fragrance, then make 2 versions of it. Make the exclusive edition. Don't call it Intenso and have some cheap concoction of a liquid inside of it. Do this as like the vintage. Mind you, Stefano and Domenico, I know very well that late 90s you also started, or 2000s, you started a vintage collection within the boutiques. You could even purchase their pieces that they reproduced themselves, and they had the Dolce & Gabbana logo, and then underneath it said vintage in red, like cursive letters. Gorgeous. For a bit of a markup, higher price, but you sold it, and I know you're capable of doing stuff like that because you have your ideas to do stuff like that. So why not do the vintage version of Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme? Try it out. Is it an investment? Well, test us. Test the customer. I know I would be running in the store smelling it. Of course, if it smells just right, I will be stocking up on it. You better believe it, Busta. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. If you have, please do thumb it up and share with others you love. Share the Dolce & Gabbana vintage love with everybody. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget, no matter how high the volcano is and how dangerous it is to go over it, do your best, go over it, check out that meadow below, and enjoy the smell of the Mediterranean magic that is Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. As we say, never give up on love. Love you guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye.